Good morning, afternoon, or good evening to you all, and welcome back for another video from the Ryder Cup 2025 tournament. What an incredible weekend of golf we are witnessing. The 45th Ryder Cup, hosted at the formidable Bethpage Black Course in New York, has been nothing short of spectacular, especially if you are cheering for the boys in blue. After 2 intense days of foursomes and fourballs, Team Europe has stormed into a monumental lead. The scoreboard reads Europe 11.5, USA 4.5. That is a 7-point advantage, a margin so vast it has shattered previous records. This is the largest lead any team has held heading into the final day's singles matches since the modern Ryder Cup format began way back in 1979. It is simply sensational stuff from the European squad. The atmosphere on Long Island has been electric, but it is the European contingent who are truly buzzing. Their team has displayed a masterclass in teamwork, skill, and sheer determination, leaving a star-studded American team looking somewhat bewildered on their home turf. The Americans, led by Captain Keegan Bradley, came into this contest with high hopes, but they have been consistently outmaneuvered and outplayed across the opening 4 sessions. Europe's blend of experienced veterans and fired-up rookies has proven to be an unstoppable force, creating a sea of blue on the leaderboard and leaving the home crowd stunned into near silence at times. This commanding position did not come about by chance. It was built on a foundation of brilliant partnerships and clutch performances under immense pressure. From the very first tee shot on Friday morning, Europe has looked the more composed and cohesive unit. They have won 3 of the 4 sessions outright, culminating in a dominant display on Saturday afternoon that truly swung the momentum decisively in their favor. The American team, packed with some of the world's highest-ranked players, has struggled to find the spark needed to counter the relentless European charge, creating a captivating and, for them, a deeply concerning narrative. Now, as we look ahead to the final day, the question on everyone's lips is not so much if Europe will win, but by how much. They need just 3 points from the 12 available singles matches to reclaim the coveted trophy. The task facing the USA is gargantuan, requiring a comeback of historic proportions, the likes of which have only been seen in Ryder Cup folklore. For Europe, this is more than just about winning. It is about making a statement and potentially achieving the biggest victory margin in their history. The stage is set for a dramatic conclusion. Saturday afternoon's 4-ball session will be remembered as one of the great sessions in European Ryder Cup history. It was here that they truly tightened their grip on the contest, winning the session 3-1 to extend their already healthy lead. The pairings were crucial, and Europe's captain got them spot on. The headline act saw the English duo of Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Rose take on America's world #1, Scottie Scheffler, and the powerful Bryson DeChambeau. Fleetwood and Rose were simply sublime, dovetailing perfectly to secure a comprehensive 3-2 victory. Their performance was a lesson in 4-ball golf, piling the pressure on their opponents from the outset. Another key match featured the passionate Irish pairing of Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry. They faced a tough American duo in Justin Thomas and Cameron Young, in a match that ebbed and flowed with incredible drama. It was a nail-biting affair that went right down to the wire, but McIlroy and Lowry held their nerve to clinch a vital 2-up win. Elsewhere, the fiery English combination of Matt Fitzpatrick and Tyrrell Hatton were embroiled in a tense battle against Sam Burns and Patrick Cantley. That match went all the way to the 18th hole, but the Englishmen prevailed, winning 1 up to add another crucial point to the European tally. The lone point for the USA in a difficult afternoon came from the steady pairing of Xander Schauffele and JJ Spaun. They managed to fend off the formidable Jon Rahm and his partner Nikolai Straka, securing a hard-fought 1-up victory. This single point, however, felt like a small consolation against the tide of European success. For Scottie Scheffler, it was a particularly bruising day. His defeat alongside DeChambeau meant he had lost all 4 of his matches over the first 2 days, a truly unwanted record for a player of his caliber and the current world #1. It just goes to show the unique pressure cooker that is the Ryder Cup. The results from this session sent shockwaves through Bethpage Black. What the Americans hoped would be a session of recovery turned into a nightmare as Europe relentlessly hammered home their advantage. The players were visibly feeding off each other's energy. Tommy Fleetwood was in awe of his partner, Justin Rose, saying he felt blessed to be by his side and calling him what a golfer. This spirit of camaraderie and mutual respect has been the cornerstone of Europe's success, turning individual talents into an unbeatable collective force that has completely dominated the competition so far. Ryder Cup golf is always played on the edge, and this Saturday at Bethpage was no exception. The atmosphere was described by some as intense, heated, and at times a little toxic. The passionate home crowd did its best to lift the American team, but their vocal support sometimes spilled over into heckling, with Rory McIlroy reportedly being a frequent target of taunts from the galleries. This only seemed to fuel the Northern Irishman's fire, as he channeled the hostile energy into his performance, celebrating passionately with his partner Shane Lowry as they secured their vital point. It was pure, unadulterated sporting theatre. The tension was not just confined to the interactions between players and fans, it was palpable between the competitors themselves. One of the most talked about moments came on the 15th green during the match between Fleetwood and Rose and Scheffler and DeChambeau. Justin Rose was preparing for a crucial putt when he felt that Bryson DeChambeau and his caddy were encroaching on his space. Rose paused and made it clear that he felt his line was not being honoured, leading to a brief but frosty exchange. It was a small incident, but it highlighted the immense pressure and the psychological games being played out on every single hole. Amidst the tension, the European fans were having the time of their lives. Though outnumbered, their voices rang out across the course, with chants and songs echoing through the trees long after many American supporters had decided to head for the exits. They sang songs poking fun at the US team and their captain Keegan Bradley, creating a carnival atmosphere in their corner of the course. Their jubilant celebrations provided a stark contrast to the subdued mood among the home fans, who watched on as their team's hopes of victory faded with each European point that went on the board. Even the American players had to acknowledge the sheer quality of their opponents. Xander Schauffele, after securing his team's only point of the afternoon, was frank in his assessment. "They're playing unbelievable golf," he admitted to reporters, adding, "They're just beating us flat out." This honest admission summed up the story of the day. It was not that the USA were playing terribly, it was that Europe was playing on another level entirely. The combination of brilliant golf, emotional resilience, and unwavering team spirit proved too much for the Americans to handle. So what does this all mean for the final day? The mathematics are stark and simple. Europe, with 11.5 points in the bag, needs to win just 3 of the 12 singles matches to reach the magic number of 14.5 and reclaim the Ryder Cup. For the United States, the mountain they have to climb is of Himalayan proportions. They need to win an unprecedented 10 points from the singles session to stage the greatest comeback in Ryder Cup history. To put that into perspective, the record for the most points won on a final day is 8.5, a feat known as the Miracle at Medina by Europe in 2012. The focus for Europe will be on finishing the job with clinical precision. There will be no room for complacency. The players know that a wounded opponent can be dangerous, and the American team will come out fighting on Sunday with nothing to lose. Every European player will be aware of their role and the point they need to contribute to get the team over the line. The early matches will be crucial. If Europe can get a few blue points on the board quickly, it will extinguish any faint hopes of an American revival and allow the celebrations to begin in earnest. However, there is more at stake for Europe than just winning. They are now in a position to inflict a defeat of historic magnitude. The biggest margin of victory for a European team is 9 points, which they achieved in both 2004 and 2006, with dominant 18.5 to 9.5 scorelines. With a 7-point lead already established, there is a very real possibility that they could surpass that record. You can be sure that this will be a huge motivation for the team, pushing them to not just win, but to win in a style that will be remembered for generations. As Sunday singles matches begin just after 5 p.m. UK time, all eyes will be on Bethpage Black. Will the USA pull off the impossible, or will Europe cruise to a famous victory? The latter seems far more likely. The European team has been a juggernaut, a perfect blend of passion, precision, and partnership. They stand on the brink of not just victory, but a legendary performance that will go down in Ryder Cup folklore. It promises to be a thrilling final chapter to what has already been an unforgettable contest. Don't miss it. Come on, Team Europe! Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more updates like this.